What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a little Jays talk. We're going to be recapping game number 47 for the Toronto Blue Jays as they down the San Diego Padres 3-0. They go to 23-24 on the year. The race to 500 is back on. The pitching matchup tonight was Chris Bassitt versus Dylan Cease. So two of the quote-unquote aces of these rosters for sure. And it was a well-pitched game. If you told me that the Toronto Blue Jays would win a game in which they only got 3 hits, I would say I take that 10 times out of 10. There was not a lot of offense in general in this one, but we won the battle of the big flies in this one as we ultimately held out for a 3-0 victory. So, first inning, right away, we get on the board, bottom of 1. Vladdy Guerrero Jr. takes one of those patented Dylan Cease sliders for a strike first, and then he gets a 97-mile-an-hour heater up. And he must have been looking for it because turning on 97 high is hard to do. He deposits it in the left field bleachers, 371 feet, and it is 1-0 Blue Jays. So great start from Vladdy. Cease settles in and strikes out Varsho and Springer after that, limiting the damage. And like I mentioned, it was a well-pitched game. So Bassitt goes out there. He's doing a great job. His pitch count was a little bit of a concern, but he was clean pretty much every inning. He gave up, I believe it was 4 hits and a walk in this one, but he was scattering them out across the innings and giving them up with 1 or 2 outs in the innings. So he never really had any traffic on the bases at all in this one at any point in time. Really well-pitched game by him. And Dylan Cease was, for the most part, outside of the home runs, cruising in this one as well. He looked really good like he normally does. The scoring in the bottom of the first, it was well pitched, a lot of ground balls, a lot of flyouts going through to the bottom of the 5th before we strike again, when Alejandro Kirk leads off the bottom of 5th with a walk. And then Anthony Santander, who looked absolutely abysmal in his first at-bat, just swinging at pitches all over the place. So the very first pitch of this at-bat, knuckle curve in the dirt. It's a foot below the plate. He swings over top of it, looks terrible. He's looking at himself like just with this dumbfounded look on. And then he gets one of those Dylan Cease sliders, but this one hangs over the middle in. And we've seen Santander do a great job of getting his hands in and contacting these balls all year, really. But he will typically pull them foul. He'll hit these long home runs that are foul balls and then strike out afterwards. This one he didn't miss. He got his hands inside. He ripped it. It looked like it was down the line for a double, probably off the wall at first because it was hit so low and so hard, but it actually carried all the way out. So I was pleasantly surprised to see when that cleared the wall, making it 3-0 Blue Jays. Fantastic stuff from Santander. Huge exhale on him. The dugout was going bananas. They're all so happy for this guy. They know what he's capable of. All the coaching staff and everybody, we all know what he's capable of with the 44 home runs last year. We just haven't seen any of it this year. So it's really nice to see him kind of welcome back from the injury, get demoted in the lineup, and then to come through like that for us. It was a really great thing to see tonight. Hopefully he can carry that forward and get that a little bit more regularly. Barger singled after him and stole second. The throw down actually hit him in the foot. And then Clement hits a sac bunt, moving Barger up to third before Nathan Lucas hits into a double play. This one had me a bit conflicted. I understand that Barger is trying to score on anything hit, like he's on the contact play there, but you typically do freeze if it's hit on a line. It was a very low liner. It was snagged by the first baseman. It was an error base running, but it's not that egregious, I guess. It's just something that we really got to work the kinks out because we're doing this too often. Chris Bassitt's back out there for the top of the 6th. He has a clean inning. He gives up a single to Merrill, but that was it before he gets Bogarts to strike out for out number 3. Dylan Cease still cruising in the 6th. Like I say, outside of those 3 hits, 2 of them being the long balls, he was outstanding tonight. Brendan Little comes in to pitch the 7th for us. He gave up a leadoff single before getting a ground into double play by Cronenworth. And then Lockridge, I think he's a rookie this year. I think they said he was drafted by the Yankees. Yeah. So then they got him to strike out swinging. So good work by Brendan Little like we've become accustomed to. He's done really good all season, really. Dylan Cease goes out in the 7th, still in control. Gets Springer out, Kirky out, and then Santander to strike out. And my dog is barking beside me here. Wyrod comes in pitch the 8th, and he's sure looking good in this shutdown reliever role. I don't need to see him start any more games. I don't really need to see him as an opener or anything like that. I think the way that his fastball, his slider, and he was able to mix in his curveball, and after just seeing the reaction, I can't remember which at-bat it was. I can maybe check here real quick. Was it the Arias? Okay, I don't see it offhand here, but there was one at-bat where it looked like he mixed in a curveball instead of the slider, and the batter gave him kind of like a look. You could tell that it was a pitch that he was not expecting, and it was a good pitch. So I really like the mix that Wyrod was showing. And yeah, I'm feeling totally confident if he can be in that 7th inning to 8th inning role, kind of whenever Jimmy and Hoffman aren't there, they maybe need a day, then you can go to Y-Rod. I feel good about that. Peralta comes in to pitch the bottom of the 8th, again, shuts us down, still 3-0 Blue Jays, and then Jeff Hoffman comes in, and it looks like Jeff Hoffman's back. 97 miles on the heater, the slider looked good, he was throwing some sinkers, he was throwing some splitters, everything looked sharp, he secures it for a 3-0 win. So let me check over the box score here real quick. Bo Bichette 0 for 4, Vladdy 1 for 3, Varsho, Springer 0 fors, Kirky 0 for, Santander with the big hit and the 2 RBIs, which is what we needed. He had the 2 Ks that were ugly, but hey, I take that exchange every single game out. If you want to strike out twice and then hit a big fly in your third at-bat, I am totally okay with that. Clement laid down the nice sack bunt. Questionable call sacking there with a fast runner on second base when a base hit would have scored him anyways. But they decided to do it. He laid down a good bunt, and then ultimately Lucas lined into that unfortunate double play where he absolutely smashed the ball right at the first baseman. Lucas 0 for 2 with that hard hit ball and a walk. He's looked okay. He's coming back down to the league average to slightly above league average guy that we are probably more expecting of him. I think he was in the upper or mid 900s in his OPS, which is probably unsustainable. So on the pitching side of things, Bassitt, 6 innings pitched, great, 100 pitches. He was an absolute dog out there, fantastic pitching performance. Brendan Little, clean, Y-Rod clean, Hoffman clean. Just how the Jays wrote it up, just how this roster is constructed. And this is a team playing like this, with this sort of pitching, they can go and make a playoff run here. We need to see it more regularly, and we need to see our big guys like Vladdy and Santander tonight run into a few more of these big flies, and it totally changes the outlook of this team if they can do that. It's a big if at this point, but if they can do it, it's a team that has a real shot at minimum being a wild card spot. So yeah, great to see the guys rebound. Things looked a lot better. We're getting back to 500 in one more game here. I think we're going to beat the Padres tomorrow and do so. Anyways, did you guys watch the game? What did you notice? Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments down below, all right? And if you've made it this far, don't forget to like and subscribe as it really helps with the algorithm, all right? We'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.